If you are a coach, a leader, or a business owner who's achieved a level of success on the outside, now maybe it's your career, your business, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your reputation, maybe you've done a lot of good work inside the community, maybe you've taken care of your finances and you've got that to a place that you're really proud of. But deep, deep down, if you're really honest with yourself, you still feel like something's missing, and it's not the out there stuff. It's in here. Maybe you've even done a lot of personal development work. Maybe you've done all the stuff that people have told you to do. You've gone to seminars, you've read books, maybe you've even done therapy, but that feeling is still there. If you can relate to anything I've said so far, this might be one of the most important messages you will hear today, this week, maybe even in your whole life. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you a discovery I've made in my 15 years as a coach, a speaker, an educator that has not only helped me, but also helped my clients set themselves free for good from negative thinking, from addictions, from looping, getting stuck in their emotions, from the numbing of their pain, to moving past self-sabotage and ultimately to start living their life with a sense of peace and freedom, where you feel at home in yourself, in your relationships, and in your life. The best part, you won't just learn concepts and tools to manage yourself. You will experience real breakthrough. My promise with this work is that it will be the last personal development program you will ever need to do. And I absolutely mean that. Okay, so maybe you've already tried surface level solutions, reading self-help books, positive affirmations that you have to like read to yourself in the mirror all the time. It's kind of like looking in the backyard saying, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds. And then you're like, oh, the weeds are still there. Or maybe you've went to therapy and you went in circles to the point where you can't bear to talk about your problems just for 1 second longer. But if you're honest, those things didn't really work. Maybe they gave you some tools, maybe they seemed to work for a little, but they didn't really give you the transformation that you know you really want. You keep finding yourself back in the same patterns. The inner critic's still in your mind, still running the show. The emotions still stuffed down. The old wounds from the past still shaping your choices right now in the present. Now, I want you to know none of this is your fault. The truth is, there's a lot of well-intended people out there trying to help each other, but most coaching is simply only focusing on one or two things, and it tends to really fix the symptoms instead of going to the root cause of your pain. Now, I want to add a disclaimer here. This is not for the faint of heart. Healing is uncomfortable. I'll let Ryan O'Neill, lead singer from the group Sleeping at Last. If you haven't looked him up, look him up. Absolutely amazing. I'll let him explain this for me in the lyrics of his song 9. This is the last part of the song. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. He's amazing. A little at a time, I feel more alive. I let the scale tip and feel all of it. It's uncomfortable, but right. We were born to try to see each other through, to know and love ourselves and others well is the most difficult and meaningful work we'll ever do. Let me introduce you to my one-on-one coaching program, Homecoming. It's a complete 10-step healing pathway I've developed over the last 15 years of coaching and having the privilege to train thousands of people to truly and finally know their true self, to come home to themselves. Designed to take you through a structured journey of personal breakthrough, not just once, but over and over until every part of you is welcomed home. We do this together in 3 steps. Part 1 will begin by slowing down and noticing the patterns that run your life. These are the parts of you that keep you safe. The habits, addictions, masks, and inner voices that once protected you, but now seem to keep you stuck. Now, instead of fighting them or trying to push them away or rising above them, we make contact with them directly. When you approach these patterns with curiosity, understanding, and compassion, they actually begin to soften because every part of us, even the heavier parts, crave to be seen, heard, and understood. And when we do that, the change we've been chasing finally becomes possible and it becomes real. Once we've connected with the parts of you that keep you stuck or in a perpetual avoidance of your healing, then in part 2, we start to go deeper and explore where our protective patterns actually come from. Together, we'll uncover the experiences, beliefs, wounds, and pain that shaped them. This isn't about getting stuck in the past. It's about the importance of understanding how your past is still shaping your present and learning from it. This is where we may need to grieve, feel, and release what hurt, but no longer needs to shape our future. When you can see the truth of your history, you can stop being ruled by it and start reclaiming the power that's always been yours, the power that allows you to live life feeling free. In part 3, we start seeing lasting change that comes when all the parts of you are finally welcomed home. The parts you've hidden, rejected, or been ashamed of are no longer pushed aside. They're given a place inside your life. And when we feel them, we can release. From sadness to joy, everything becomes welcome again. Instead of fighting yourself, you have a feeling of wholeness. From this place, your choices, your relationships, your actions flow from authority and courage, not from old survival strategies. Integration is what makes change permanent, and it's what allows you to finally live as the person you always meant to be. People spend tens of thousands of dollars on courses, books, and seminar after seminar, spending their whole life searching for a breakthrough. But most of it doesn't just last, because without healing the root cause of our problems, you're just rearranging the surface. Homecoming goes deeper. It's not another self-help hack. It's a real-world proven system that rewires how you relate to yourself. So change becomes permanent. Here's a short message from some of the people that have completed the Homecoming program.
Before I met you, one of my friends was doing your Homecoming program, and we had lunch together one day, and she started to talk to me a little bit about it. And she mentioned the word homecoming, and I instantly resonated with that. And I also got very teary and emotional. And I think I resonated with it because I recognized that there was an inner child in me that I felt really connected to and wanted to be again, but I knew she was so far away. And then you and I met, and I instantly felt like you were someone that I could talk to, that I could share things with, and that you were a safe place for me. My current state of mind at the time was I couldn't see any future. I couldn't see any hope. I didn't have any goals. I knew my son was getting older and he was going to move away. And I thought, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my life? It may as well be over. Not that I had suicidal tendencies or anything, but it seemed pretty bleak, and I just was lost. I'd seen a couple of psychologists over time. I've had a history of some pretty significant trauma, and so I reached out to psychologists for some help, but I found that the psychologists, the work that I did with them would only get me so far, and then I would fall into old patterns, and get back to the same feeling I had before I saw them. And I'd also done some self-help stuff. So I'd, been looking at the Resilience Project and, like writing some journals and that sort of thing. But I had never been given clear instruction or tools that would help me. I thought I was the broken one. So I thought, even if the program was good, maybe you can't fix me, was one of the things. I was really worried about facing some of the things that I knew I would have to face, and like confronting some of that past trauma and past pain was going to be really concerning, and I wasn't sure if I was strong enough to do it. To learn about fragmented psychology and work with the inner child and get to know the parts of me. I think parts work is just one of the most liberating things I've ever done. And I noticed that over time, the pain that I was so afraid of wasn't as big as I thought it was. And now I'm in a place where I go to the gym, so I look after myself. I was using alcohol to medicate, and like in the past, I was just hiding from the world. I had avoiding everything, avoiding people, and yet terrified of being lonely. So there's a lot of conflict there. Now I talk to everybody I see. I can't stop talking to people. I can't stop reaching out to others. I look after my nutrition. I look after my physical health. I go to the gym every day. I gym and swim now, so that's amazing. I'm now learning to be a coach. I've fallen in love with the Homecoming program so much. I'm doing the coaching program myself. I've met a lovely man. So rekindled an old relationship, which is amazing. And that was something that was so far removed from my future before I started working with you. I could never imagine it. So the future for me just feels so bright. I'm just really looking for it's endless possibilities. The tools that you get from the homecoming program will set you up for life. Like it's like a switch has been flipped. I've said this to you before in my life where I can manage my emotions in a much more stable, regulated way than I could before. I would recommend it to anybody. I think there's so much to be gained from it. And even if you didn't gain everything that I did, but I'm sure you will, there's just so much. You can't lose from doing the homecoming program.
If you feel connected to what I'm saying, you resonate with it, and you feel called to reach out and see if the homecoming program is the next right step for you, this is what will happen when you work with me. Step 1, you'll receive access to the full Homecoming Journey online series. This is a complete online course with everything you need to learn about yourself and your healing to make lasting change. I believe education is the most important part of our healing and our development. Step number 2, we'll schedule your first breakthrough session with me. You'll be working with me personally. Now, I don't run a massive coaching company where I hire lots of people to do my life coaching because I love the work myself. I've been doing this for 15 years and I'm just in love with it now as I was when I first started. And I'm much more interested in quality of outcomes instead of quantity. Step 3, every fortnight, we'll go deeper into one of the 10 steps. The entire journey is already mapped out. All you need to do is show up and be ready for the change you know you need. Also, feel free to bring any problems that you have not been able to solve so we can work on them together. Step 4, between sessions, you'll practice and integrate the breakthroughs so they stick. In the end, change is all a change in behavior. It's something that needs to shift inside, but then outside inside your life. You know, as Einstein said, we can't solve the problem with the same thinking that created it. So we need to upgrade our thinking to access new levels of change. Step 5, by the end, you'll not only heal yourself, you'll have a lifelong pathway to continue leading yourself into a life that you love. My goal for you and my goal for all of my clients is eventually I want you to no longer need me. And I mean that in the nicest way. I want this investment with me to be the last personal development program you ever buy. The last decision you need to make to come home to yourself, your relationships, and your life. Now, you may be asking yourself some questions right now, so I will share the top 3 questions people generally ask me and then answer them for you. Question number 1, how long does this take and do I have the time to do it? Well, so first of all, it's one session every 2 weeks. In between those sessions, you will watch a video that goes for about 30 minutes. Sometimes they go for about 45 minutes. And then you'll do a little bit of integration work every single day, maybe about like 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, right? I would say kind of bluntly, if you're not prepared to put in, let's call it 2 hours a fortnight and then 10 minutes a day into investing into your change, maybe this is not right for you. But if you feel like that's something that you can fit into your life, this program is designed specifically for people that are busy, as I'm generally working with coaches, business owners, leaders, people that have got a lot on, that need some guidance to finally start focusing on themselves and create some change in their inner world. Will it really work for me? If you've tried surface level solutions, this is really designed for you specifically. If you've done a bunch of surface level stuff like affirmations and stuff like that and mindset strategies, and they haven't really stuck, this is specifically designed for you. Every one of my clients experiences a breakthrough. The only thing I really need from you is the commitment to change. And I need you to be okay to get a little bit uncomfortable. As Tony Robbins says, when the pain of staying the same becomes more painful than the perceived pain of change, that's when we move. Next question, what if I'm not ready? So I'll share something a mentor said to me once. They said, when it comes to doing the personal change work that you know you need the most, you will never be. And so the best time to start this was actually yesterday. But seeing as yesterday is gone, starting right now is your next best step. So just one last time, here's everything you get when you join the Homecoming program. The complete 10-step Homecoming healing pathway, 10 private breakthrough sessions with me personally, the Homecoming Journey series, an intensive and immersive online video guidance for every single step that you get to keep forever and you will use for the rest of your life. You'll get personalized integration support in between sessions and a framework, not just for healing, but for thriving in your life. If you know it's time to stop running from yourself, running from your healing, running from your pain, running from your problems, if you know it's time to stop avoiding, if you're ready to break the cycle and finally feel at peace, then this is your invitation. Scroll below and apply now. If you're a fit, we'll book you in for your first session and begin your homecoming journey together. Because the truth is, every part of you is already waiting and wanting to come home.